Today, we're going to talk about the introduction sentence or paragraph to a research report. So the introduction sentence or paragraph needs to do two things. First, it needs to capture the reader's attention and make them want to read your report. The second thing it needs to do is to tell the reader what the report is about, the topic that they will be learning about. So let's look at some examples. Here, we have part of a report on squirrels. The introduction paragraph, remember, is the first paragraph in a report. So remember, it has to capture the reader's attention and it has to tell what the research report is about. One way to capture the reader's attention is to make a connection to our everyday life. Try and get your reader to think about what you are trying to teach them about. Let's take a look at this example. Squirrels by Mrs. Ponsel. Wherever I look, I see a squirrel. They run across the roads and they jump from tree to tree. I see them grabbing nuts and scurrying around chasing each other. In many ways, they all look the same to me. But did you know that there are different types of squirrels? They also live in many different places. So if you notice, this paragraph gets us to think about the topic and makes us think about it in a different way. We know that we are going to be reading about squirrels, and it's captured our attention by getting us to think about where and when we've seen squirrels in our everyday life. Let's take a look at another example. In this example, our introduction paragraph is describing something exciting about the animal. In some ways, you could almost say it's telling a little story about the animal. So let's read and see how this one captures the reader's attention. The Orca by National Geographic. 6 tons of pure power, wax and ice flow floating in cold Arctic waters. The seal lying on top of the ice doesn't stand a chance. Knocked into the sea, the seal becomes a meal for one of the ocean's top predators, the huge orca or killer whale. So in this example, the author is describing something that the killer whale does. It grabs our attention by almost telling a story about how the killer whale is going to get the seal. We know that this whole article or report is written about the killer whale. So it has done both things it needs to. It's captured our attention and it's told us what the topic is about. Here we have another example. In this example, this introduction paragraph starts with an interesting fact. It's one way to get your reader to want to learn more about what you're talking about. Dogs. One of the first animals domesticated by ancient man, the dog has long been accurately described as man's best friend. The social nature of these descendants of wild wolves makes them a desirable pet and playmate for humans of all ages. They are companions and protectors, laborers and lifesavers for millions of happy pet owners worldwide. So, in this one, they've started off with giving us some interesting facts about dogs. We know that's captured our attention, and we know that we're going to be reading about dogs. In our last example of the introduction paragraph, the writer asks a question to get the reader to start thinking about the topic. Here again, we're talking about dogs. Did you know that there are said to be 400 million dogs in the world? Dogs are one of the most popular working and companion animals throughout human history. They can be helpful in hunting, farm work, and security. Some dogs can even help people with disabilities. With dogs being so helpful to humans, don't you think it is helpful to know how to take care of them as well? So this introduction paragraph captures the reader's attention by asking them a question that makes them start thinking about the topic. It does both parts of capturing our attention and telling us that we are going to be reading about dogs. Now it's your turn to start writing your introduction paragraph. Remember, as you are writing it, remember that it has to capture the reader's attention and it has to tell the reader what the report is all about. Good luck!